name is species that live in the sea. Land! Gastropoda, arthropoda, echinoderma, tucana, chordata, and sufficiently you and me. Come on, sing with me.
All of the life that can be seen in the ocean, all of the life flourishing in this small area, the substance that covers most of our Earth. With human interference, that life could soon be gone.
A dead zone is a place in the ocean where there is not enough oxygen dissolved in the water to support any life. There is a dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico, about the size of New Jersey. These conditions are also considered hypoxia. Scientists have discovered 450 dead zones worldwide.
Dead zones are caused by runoff from the land, nitrogen-rich fertilizers, pesticides, and other chemicals. The chemical runoff, especially the fertilizers, cause nutrient-rich eutrophication in areas in the deep ocean, areas that normally don't see this rich nutrient concentration.
These nutrient-rich areas support plankton blooms in the deep ocean, areas which do not normally have this. Even though the plankton produce oxygen, they create a new food source for deep ocean organisms. All of these organisms produce a lot of waste. The bacteria that consume and decompose the waste use up all of the available oxygen in the deep ocean waters. Due to the differences in the densities of the water, they are unable to mix, and there is not enough oxygen for the deep ocean organisms.
Algae blooms cover up the surface of the water too, so sunlight cannot reach the bottom of the ocean to support the autotrophic primary producers. No oxygen is created by these producers, and the entire ecosystem collapses. One of the main causes of dead zones is chemical runoff from the land, specifically fertilizers and pesticides. When people think of GMOs, they tend to think of bad things. However, GMOs are simply organisms whose DNA has been modified. The banana that we eat today, the Cavendish banana, is a GMO. Humans didn't cause this change, it happened naturally over the course of evolution. They are also currently testing the use of a modified virus to destroy cancerous tumors in humans. If we were to implement GMOs that need less fertilizer and pesticides, we could decrease the chemical runoff, which would give time for the ocean to naturally replenish the dead zones without any chemical interference.
Also, around the Mississippi, which is the main river that runs into the Gulf of Mexico, the main crop that needs a lot of fertilizer is corn. Most of the corn in America is used to feed livestock. High corn production causes a lot of runoff, creating dead zones in the ocean. A corn-based diet, especially in cows, causes a pH change in these animals' stomachs. That change can cause intestinal problem in the animals. The corn diet also causes fattier meat from the animals, full of saturated fats. You yourself can help this problem in your own home. By buying grass-fed meat, you support the industry of grass-feeding animals. Grass-fed meat is higher in vitamin E and has more omega-3 fats over saturated fats of corn-fed meat. If there is a higher demand overall for grass-fed meat, there will be less need for corn production, decreasing the overall amount of corn grown and fertilizer used, and runoff created, which are the causes for these dead zones.
If farmers rotate their crops and support the natural nitrogen cycle, they will be able to use less fertilizer and create less runoff. The nitrogen cycle is when nitrogen is taken from the air into the ground and converted into usable nitrogen by plants like legumes, leaving nitrogen deposits in the earth. Corn is a plant that needs a lot of nitrogen to grow. So instead of using nitrogen-rich fertilizers which cause runoff, these farmers can simply rotate their crops out with legumes, which will naturally create the nitrogen needed for the growth of corn. The ocean itself can naturally fix dead zones, if the pollution that humans dump into the ocean can stop long enough. We just need to stop runoff and life can return to these parts of the ocean. If life does not return, the dead zones can get bigger, eliminating the life from the ocean, greatly impacting ecosystems in the ocean and on the land.